Hello fellow dragons, it's Shane from Astral Dragon Gaming. How are you all doing? Now before I begin the video today, I'd like to talk a bit about my motivation and everything at the moment because I'm a bit all over the place. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is still a ways off. But if you hit the subscribe button, I'd really appreciate that because, you know, I just want to get to that point where I can use the postings and post my videos on YouTube and then talk to the YouTube community. But, you know, we all try this. Anyway, today's game is Etherborn. Etherborn is a indie game that is being produced and developed by Altered Matter, a small indie company that has produced a truly astounding game here. It was released on the 19th of July 2019, going for the Steam price of $23.95 Australian bucks, and on the Switch e-store for $25.45 Australian bucks as well. So, getting into the basis of the game is basically a 3D puzzle that you have to kind of solve by being the puzzle piece contained within the game to do different things. As you go through the game, the basic idea is that you find these little glowing orbs, place them on the various switches to activate your pathway so you can go forward. But unfortunately your pathway is not as straightforward as you might think, because your pathway could be over a hill, round a corner, over the top, through another switch gate, and then you have to drop some unimaginably long distance to get to the next part of the game. It starts off very slow but ramps up very quickly as it goes through, and it's a very intriguing game in that respect. Puzzle game wise, this is on the medium level for people that do puzzle games. For people that don't do puzzle games, you might be sitting there and scratching your heads for a bit. It's a good game. There's lots of fabulous environments and really brain-teasing sort of puzzle design that I enjoyed. But for some people, it's going to be a little bit of a long slog. Other people, not so much so. Visually, it's all done in polygon design with a nice lighting system and a very, very vivid color palette, and it's very eye-wateringly beautiful at times. There are so many things that as you're walking through, you just stand there and you just go, wow. And there are very few moments in this game where they're not actually just big-ass screenshots that you would just put on your desktop and just go, wow, I really played that game, that was awesome. And it's wonderful things like that where you're just taken away by the pure breathtaking of the game. The game has a limited field of vision, but that's done on purpose. Like, you get so far and you can see so far, and then it turns into a foggy haze. And the whole idea of the game is that you can only see so much, and even using your right stick or your mouse or whatnot to do the various vision and whatnot only changes the angle in what you see very slightly, which makes it hard to solve some of the puzzles at times. But at the same time, I love the artistic direction that they took with this, and also just the scope of when parts of the scenery move in and around each other and slam into where you are, or you are on a big object and move. It's all superbly done, and it's really quite fantastic. Yep.
However, after setting the course of everything there was, They also set their own, and chose only one of many possibilities, as they had done with the world. And so, their vast ego was also reduced to mere language. Inhibited by their fear of death, they branded the fable.
The other thing that sort of sets this game as it is, it's a Zen kind of game where you're traveling through an experience of understanding life, existence, and all the other things. Like if you haven't figured it out by the amorphous character that you play with a beating heart and lungs and veins all through them. And in this sort of amorphous thing, you are saturated with this very calming and peaceful and very awe-inspiring music that is very simple, very subtle, but it's very uplifting. It's very full of emotion and power that you can feel. And when you're getting frustrated on a puzzle, you can sit there and try and figure out a puzzle, and you're sort of swept away by this music, this hearing of all the ambience of that particular music and the noises of the environment and everything, and you can sort of be really in the moment, and it's very interesting, and it's what the game is designed to be. It's designed to be an experience. It's not designed as being a hardcore puzzle game. It's not designed as being an impossible game. It's designed as a game full of struggle that makes the characters sort of realize about their own existence, which is awesome. Oh, incidentally, sometime soon I'll be having a look at the demo for Automated Chef. Interesting looking game. Anyway, moving on. The other thing about this game is there's no voice except for the person that is the narrator of your story, your life, your existence. And ultimately she is the embodiment of the character that you're playing, and you're moving from birth to death, from existence, non-existence, all the way up to an existence sort of thing. And it's a really sort of Zen philosophy, idealism, where you have to understand the essence of being, understand what created man and what drives man, what doesn't drive man, how it all makes us up as human beings. And the protagonist, the lady that does the voiceover for it, is really good, and it's really, it hits home in the mindset of trying to understand that thing. And look, you can skip the sequences and keep on going to the puzzles, but at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. The one thing that is really hard to sort of get your head around on this game is that it's a very much environmental puzzle. It's an entire room that's devoid of anything but the elements of the puzzle itself. So you have to learn how things will interact depending on what side or face of a building that you occupy. You have to decide which is up, which is down, which is left, which is right. And I was extraordinarily surprised by how intuitive the controls were. How when you suddenly changed angles and now you were going up a wall instead of walking on flat ground, and you are still walking in the same dimensions, but when you walked over the edge suddenly became a death fall, because that's the angle and the gravity that you're living in that moment in time. And that is where this game sort of gets really trippy for the mind. If you're not a fan of heights, or you're not a fan of anything that involves that kind of nausea feeling when you're standing on the edge of something and you're just looking down and you know it's a very high height, you will get that kind of sensation when the scenery will twist depending on you walking up a wall, walking around a wall, or something like that. Or even when you misjudge a position where you've been walking and you'll just fall flat as a tack and fall very far and very fast. It is sort of gut-wrenching in a sense, and there is a hub world tree thing which you will walk and spiral around, which can kind of twist with your mind as you're walking around it. So if you have those kind of problems, be warned. That is one of the things that you're going to have to get used to while playing this game. I'll get down to the main part of this game. It is a very short game. And it's a short game for a lot of reasons. One, it's an indie developer. Two, it's about an experience. But also, the puzzles are very involved. Depending on how good or bad you are at puzzles, it can change the length of this game significantly. Me personally, I finished it in 2 hours, not a problem, and I would have liked it to go longer. I would have really liked more levels and more puzzles. But at the same time, what I played, I really enjoyed. And the good thing is, once you finish the game, you can go and play the Game Plus mode, where all the little orbs that you need to unlock different things are actually hidden throughout each individual level. So they're much harder to find, and you now have to be more intuitive of how you're looking for things. So you're no longer looking in the exact same spot that you played in the previous levels. You are now changing your perspective, and you have to think and look for these new sort of locations. And I think that adds another new sort of replay value of this game, and I enjoyed that part of it. But overall, there's not much for completing this game except for the understanding and the sensation of finishing this game. It was a really enjoyable game. I liked it a lot, and I think a lot of other people will. But again, if you're not a puzzle person and you're not into that kind of thing, you might find the price tag for it a little bit on the steep side. As Steam games go, it is a bit on the pricey side, but at the same time, I paid more for less of a gameplay and enjoyed it in the same respect. A game like that is Dorgan, which I immensely enjoyed. There's a link up in the card up above there, and it was a great game to play, and it was well worth the experience. And this is another game where the price of admission is what is worth it in playing the game. Not all games are always going to be hard pressed. This is a game that would be interesting to see what speedrunners would do, because trying to solve the puzzle and getting the puzzle done in a very short period of time is ultimately what speedrunning is always about. And sometimes it can be a puzzle game, sometimes it can be an action game, sometimes be something like Alien Isolation, which I marvel at when people say, oh yeah, I can speedrun that in less than 30 minutes. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, you do that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit the like. If you want to help me in my goal to get another 1,000 and I get to 1,000 subscribers, I would greatly appreciate that as well. If not, that's fine. Come back for another video another day. Other than that, I hope you found this game enjoyable. I hope you have a play of it too, because it's a good game. And other than that, you can come back for another video and we'll have another fun time having a talk about videos. Comment down below if you want to find a particular game that I can review that you're not sure on, that you are thinking about and going, I'm not sure if I want to play that game. If it's something interesting, I'm willing to play it any time of the week. Other than that, bye for now, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!